briefly, I was asked, why should a country care about its national debt? Well, here's why. I don't matter, no matter how big and strong and powerful your country is, as we've seen throughout history, whether it be the Roman Empire, whether it be the British Empire, or the Spanish or the Dutch, at some point you cannot continue to live beyond your means. For example, you can check it any way you want to check it. You Google it or check any source. The United States currently about 30, between 35 to 40 trillion dollars in national debt. And every year they're borrowing more money. I don't care where they're borrowing it from. The point is they're borrowing more money. And it's now between the 35 and 40 trillion dollars in debt. The interest on the debt alone is fast approaching the amount of money we spend on this national defense. That is nuts. That's not sustainable. And at some point in the future, there's going to reach a threshold, and in which um, people are going to start look for alternatives. There might not be an alternative right now, but say in the future, if the European Union become more streamlined, okay, and they decide to make, the euro a world reserve currency, then what? Then America is no longer had the dollar is no longer the world reserve currency, and that's gonna complicate matters for the United States. Because the United States currently now has the world reserve currency status. It has that big bad credit card called reserve currency, and so borrow money at will. But if the American dollar is no longer the world reserve currency, as we've seen with the British pound, and as we've seen in other previous world reserve currencies, if the world reserve currency status goes, you're going to enter a period of grave difficulty. That means you just can't just borrow money at will. Your interest gonna be higher. You're gonna have problems sustaining your payments on your debt. Not only that, okay. Also understand this: most of the money being borrowed are not being borrowed to invest in infrastructure or technology and all that. It's been going to give tax cut to billionaires and millionaires. And when you do that, giving tax cut to billionaires and millionaires and not investing in infrastructure, in the infrastructure, not building up the country, at some point it's going to all come and down because all you're going to have is there's no investment in infrastructure. Frankly, if you look at some roads and bridges in America, it's worse than a third world country. They're literally falling apart. Okay, so if you're borrowing all this money, but you're not investing in infrastructure, you're not building anything like space exploration, space mining operation. You're not really doing none of that. You just borrow this money so you can give tax code to billionaires and millionaires. Guess what's going to happen? You're basically all you're doing is stuck in your future generations with a huge debt. So the current millionaires and billionaires can live high on the hog. It's not sustainable, and anyone who will tell you that it can be sustainable is basically blowing sunshine up your rear. And I don't laugh, but no, it's only a matter of time. So if I would, recommend you start thinking about your future economic plan. Um, and I don't know when it will be. I don't want to give dates, but whether you like it or not, the current debt situation of the U.S. government and the dollar, the world reserve currency, is not sustainable. That's just simple logic. Okay, and as we always say, the laws of physics is the same everywhere. If you continue to borrow all this money just to Not borrows money, not to invest in infrastructure, not to invest in the roads, bridges, or space exploration, or any other stuff, but to just give tax cut to your billionaires and millionaires' bodies. At some point, it's the world gonna run dry. You know, money gotta come from somewhere, and at some point, it's gonna blow up. All right. So that's my 2 cents, and I hope you have a good day. If you have any questions, you can email me at sophia.woodley@gmail.com. That's Sophia, Sophia dot WOODLEY @gmail.com. Thanks so much for your time and stay strong.